Hi guys, if your brake doing an horrible noise when you're braking, and if it's some disc brake, so the first step is to clean up your disc, obviously. So as I already mentioned it in the past, the best thing to do is to use a brake cleaner, the kind of brake cleaner you use for a car or motorbike. This is not very expensive, it's around $5-6, the big can. And clean up the disc with a very clean piece of paper, something like paper towel or something like that, so you can see what you remove. Then if it's still doing that, the only other step after that is to remove the brake pads and remove a thin layers of dust which is stuck on the brake pads. So I'll show you how to do that. So on this specific model, the first thing to do is to unscrew the screw will keep the brake pad together here, and after I will have to remove the brake caliper from here and here, and remove the brake pad from the brake caliper to clean up this dust on the brake pads. Alright, so on this specific model, this is a brake pad, and you've got in between the two brake pads, you've got this metal piece here, which keep so it's all sort of spring in fact, and it keep the correct space between the two pads to put your disc in fact in between. So this metal part have to be cleaned up also, just like the pads. Alright, so this is done. Front brake caliper and rear one both have been cleaned up with some brake cleaner. The disc as well, as I said, the brake pad have been cleaned up with some sandpaper. This is a sandpaper that I used, and I would like to, but it's too late with the wind, everything. When I brush the pad on that, I remove a quite thick layer of dust, and you know, on your brake pad, just like a car or a motorbike, your brake pad have sort of tiny little pieces of goldish color material in there, and they were not like that. They were all dark because of the dust and probably the grease something. So I remove all of this, and it's actually worked fine. So it's a good bike. As I said before, it's a giant bike, but it's unusual. The size unusual for us. It's a 27.5-inch wheels. On this kind of bike, which is a mountain bike, a ladies mountain bike, would say maybe even a teenager buff. I'm 172 and I can fit on the bike quite comfortable as is, with the saddle, the seat post quite high. So it's for definitely a teenager or a shorter female, but it's a pretty good quality bike. It's a bit difficult to find someone for some bike like that, because people have to understand what we're talking about in terms of quality and price. But when it's done, when you compare and have a look online, and you see that's a very good quality bike. Thank you. Hi guys, today a very old school city bike with 700cc rims, some decent tires, a good gearing system. Even if the bike is absolutely filthy disgusting, at the end of the day it would be a nice renovation, hopefully. Handlebar, I've seen some better days, but yeah, the gear system have to be replaced, the gear levers, and I've got some in stock, so I will do that. Hi guys, a few more tips to share with you. When you do a renovation on a bike, I think there is 3 crucial things to do for the confidence of the future rider and for the comfort of the rider. One thing is to have some very good grips. So it's really important to have a good feeling when you hold the bike, when you hold the handlebar. So I'm going with some grip where you could see where screw on the handlebar with two screws like that, with a ring here and one here. They are really good quality stuff. I ordered that online, but you can get some in some bike store anywhere. Yeah, I really recommend that. It's a good feeling, and you feel then you will not have you will not hurt yourself per holding the handlebar for long, because there is some comfort in there. Second thing is the saddle. So depending the kind of bike, for this bike it's a recreational bike. It's a bike people will use maybe to go to the park with the kids or something like that. So the comfort is really important on this manner, because people not necessarily ride every day. So if they're coming back to riding, they haven't ride a bike for quite some time, it's quite important to have a comfort, at least to not immediately after the first ride decided to not touch the bike anymore. So yeah, a minimum of comfort, it's recommended. So grips, saddle and pedal, this is all the contact you've got with the bike. So this is really important for this for the comfort of the rider and the confidence of the rider. So I always check if the grip on the pedal is still good enough, and if it would be kind of comfortable to ride the bike with this sort of pedal, and if the bearing in there is not damaged, if they rotating like that, if they have no play, which is important to not have play on that, because it could hurt also your knee and different part of your body, for the fact your foot will not be in the right position at all the time when you will ride the bike. So pedal, saddle, grips, if you respect this to start with, you can give some kind of confidence to the rider, then it would be a nice and comfortable bike to ride. After, like any other things, having some good tires, efficient brake and such, it's really important. But I think the beginning, it's a contact with the bike. Thank you. Alright, so I just wanted to show you that because I had some question about people who wanted to know how it ended up with the bracket. So it's actually ended up well. This is a bracket I have done here, the little piece in aluminium. So I make it with this curve to have the shifter in the right position, fitted this way. The original way was fitted was with this screw here, so I reused the same diameter and same screw. And on the frame, if you remember, I drilled 2 holes and fitted this with some M4, sorry, metric 4mm screws, and yeah, end up to going very well and shift very well. And I forgot to mention previously that this is the same chain. If you remember the first video at the beginning of when I got the bike, the chain was all rusty and in really poor condition. I decided to give it a try, and it actually worked. I reused the chain. In fact, I removed the chain, remove all the rust on it, and clean up the chain twice, and dry the chain with my compressor spray air gun. And when this was done, I lubricate the chain with my oil, transmission oil. I use instead of using oil for bicycle, I use a oil which is normally made for motorbike shaft. So it's selling better, I would say, with a better deal, because you can get a liter for the price of probably I don't know, maybe 5 times cheaper than it would be for a bike oil. And this is the same kind of oil. It's made for transmission. It's made for to lubricate some part while moving. So this is the same purpose, and it's actually worked very well. I have done this for quite some time now. I know it's actually worked well on bikes. It's more the matter, it's more the way you do it, the way you put your oil on your chain. I don't know if you remember, but on the chain, what you have to lubricate, it's the little roll between every little piece here. So to do that, you have to put some oil here all the way, one at a time. That's the way I do it, and turn the pedal and keep going until I finished. And when it's done, maybe let's say 10 minutes later, because the oil can penetrate properly in all the mechanic. When it's done, I grab a piece of clean cotton and remove the excess, and it's done, and it actually worked very well for quite some time. So that's my way to do it. Thank you.